Hello there, my name is Madi, and today we'll be discussing exchange rates. First, we will distinguish between the nominal and real exchange rates, and then we will use an example of an American product and a Japanese product to go over real exchange rates. And then finally, we will use a comparison between the Canadian dollar and Japanese yen to explain what might impact the nominal exchange rate over the past 5 to 10 years between these two nations. So let's begin. First of all, what is the exchange rate? Now, the exchange rate comes in two forms, the first of which is the nominal exchange rate. This is the number you'll typically see when you're going to exchange your money at a bank or a Forex investment site. So for example, currently one Canadian dollar is worth about 107 Japanese yen. No matter what you buy in Japan, this exchange rate applies evenly to all products. Now, there's the real exchange rate, which is a more complex calculation which multiplies the nominal rate by the domestic price level for a product divided by the foreign price level for an identical product. Now let's go over an example of calculating real exchange rate. So on the left here is a poke bowl, which I recently ate in Hawaii about 1 month ago. This poke bowl was 15 USD in Hawaii, and I found a comparable bowl in Edmonton, which cost about $20. Now multiplying the exchange rate by the foreign price divided by the domestic price, we get a real exchange rate of about 1, which means the Canadian dollar has equal spending power in terms of poke bowls. On the right here, I have an A5 Kobe steak, which I was eating in Japan about 3 months ago. In Japan, Kobe steak is much more common than it is here in Canada. And so a Kobe steak buffet only costs 17,000 yen, it's about $170. However, a comparable Kobe steak buffet in Canada would be about $600. So when you calculate the real exchange rate for this, you get 0.23, meaning the Canadian dollar has very low purchasing power in terms of Kobe steaks. Now, this is typically applied to a larger basket of goods, not specific items, and so it's more leveled out. I'm just doing a specific example. Now we'll go over what impacts exchange rates. As you can see here, the Japanese yen has slowly been declining in value compared to the Canadian dollar, meaning each Canadian dollar is worth more and more yen. Now, this can be due to many different factors, such as the attractiveness of foreign investment, tourism, inflation rates, government policy, and trade. Let's go over two specific examples that may shift the nominal exchange rate. The first example is the interest rate set by the national bank of each country. As you can see in this diagram, the yellow line represents Japan's interest rate, which is relatively low compared to other countries such as Canada's. This makes foreign investment more attractive for Japanese investors who may want to buy Canadian bonds rather than Japanese bonds. This would shift the demand curve for Canadian dollars right, increasing the demand for Canadian dollars. Now on the bottom, you can see a picture of Tokyo, which I took a few months ago. If there is a large influx of Canadian tourists to Japan, then the demand for Canadian dollars will naturally decrease as the demand for Japanese dollars increases. This would overall create a reduced demand for Canadian dollars, shifting the curve to the left. And these are my sources.